Hey there, welcome back to Late on 8 here. In tonight's episode, we're featuring Sonar Media. Pat Milbury himself is coming in here to the studio. That's who's sitting on the couch right here. If you can't recognize him already. Pat, thanks so much for coming in today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, yeah, it's good to see you in the studio. And let's talk about then the whole beginning. Let's take a step back and talk about who you are.
I've been snowboarding for about 20 years. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota, and I originally got involved with snowboarding based on my friend coming over to my house. He was super into snowboarding and brought a snowboard over, and I, kind of got my, I guess fair to say, get my ass kicked, trying to ride down this little hill I had in my parents' backyard with my friend Pete. And I got a snowboard like 2 months later for a holiday present from my parents.
What was your first snowboard?
It was a Black Snow.
Okay.
It's a starter kit,
Yeah, right.
It's like kind of like that Mr. T starter kit thing,
Yeah. Well, how would you say that riding and growing up in Minnesota has influenced your style of riding? Well,
Minnesota is, you probably met a lot of Minnesotans out here in Colorado. We tend to migrate out here.
Absolutely.
It's some hills, it teaches you a ton about character and effort and hard work, and if you truly appreciate and love something, it doesn't really matter. You don't know what powder really is, you're used to the ice, you're used to hard landings, you're used to being able to stomp tricks on like crappy conditions and ride in ruts. So when you take Minnesota and you look at Colorado, Colorado's like, a very privileged playground that I now have the opportunity to be a part of, and feel incredibly lucky to have this in my backyard now.
Let's talk about what exactly is Sonar.
With Sonar's been like an outlet that I could take anything to, music, art, snowboarding, any of my passions that I love to do with a lot of my friends as far as like other artists and snowboarders, whatever, and have kind of like a central hub for everything we do. It's basically a metaphor for, it's a very common expression within our lifestyle, so gnarly,
sure.
All those things, but it's kind of like our little movement of like, of the underground that surfaces here and there. It's ultimately a group of friends that evolves and builds, and now we're taking it into events and tours and some clothing and a lot of product design.
And Pat, you brought in a lot of stuff in here, all this gear, and talk about that and how it promotes what Sonar is all about.
We have all these characters. We love drawing and doodling, like it's been one of my favorite things since I've been like 8 years old. All our doodles have turned into like characters, and so we have like a whole crew of characters. We do a bunch of fun kind of bandanas that you can use for riding or riding your bike. So we got the receptor monster where you put that on, you got the grill there, or else if you can flip it on the other side. And here's Frogger, and he's like spewing out a bunch of diamonds. Here's a skateboard that we did. My friend Dave Sheets, who's an artist down in Denver, does a ton of skate graphics, and I drew up this illustration and then had these decks pressed for our Red Rocks deal. So that was kind of like a Sonar art collaboration to do something cool with a local board manufacturer called Board Pusher out of Denver. And then, we do all kinds of different stuff. Like we do like limited hat runs. So here's like a limited Sonar hat run that we did. And we like to kind of keep the quantities down. So if we only do like 36 of them, it's kind of rad. You just number them.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
limited style. And then on top of it, we just did this new shirt. It's called In Colorado We Trust. And the whole premise is I've been in Colorado for about 10 years. And I've never considered myself to be like local status. Because I feel like you need to earn it. We wanted to launch this new series, In Colorado We Trust, in combination with some artists and some musicians and other people that we're working with. And so it's kind of like a little alliance amongst like our friends and some artists, and Michael Menert, who we're working on a new webisode series with. Michael Menert is a DJ and a producer out of Fort Collins, and he's on the Pretty Lights record label. Very cool. And he came and played Snowboard on the Rocks this year for our second annual Snowboard on the Rocks down at Red Rocks in September. And we did a radio show a few days prior to the Snowboard on the Rocks gig, and Michael and I talked snowboarding, and he's obsessed with snowboarding. He's been snowboarding forever. So we started talking about old movies and flicks and soundtracks and how snowboarding and music, of course, are very relative. Michael and I teamed up on him producing the track for each episode, and the Sonar crew is gonna get to pick a mutual track as like a guest artist, and he's gonna remix it into one of his tracks. So he's gonna be snowboarding with us. We're all gonna be hanging out. It's kind of displaying the lifestyles behind you know, his craft and our craft. Snowboard on the Rocks is an event that Adam Schmidt from Snowboard Colorado, my partner Andrew at Sonar, and myself built back in 2010. And so what we've been trying to do is have a real fun community-based kickoff event for the season that pulls everyone together and shows some of the, you know, the top like rad like world premiere films from all over the globe, as well as like showcasing local talent, having Never Summer involved in 2010. Video premieres typically are done at like the same bars, you know, from year after year, which is cool. It's, you carry on, you know, the tradition is carried on, but you're limited. So what we kind of noticed is there's a ton of people that want to go to premieres. They might not know about them, and we really wanted to try to switch it up. So we chose Red Rocks, which has been an incredible journey thus far, and it's definitely a lot of work. But it's a pretty cool staple event for the fall season for the snowboard community, as well as like tons of music fans to come and kick it and watch some videos and enjoy some music and just see a bunch of people and kind of, you know, rekindle that energy going into the season.
Well, and that sounds like a good time as any then to check out exactly what Snowboard on the Rocks is all about. And you brought in a video just for that. We've got that to show. And so what exactly are we going to take a look at here?
The Snowboard on the Rocks video is a recap of this year's event. And so it kind of runs through the pre-event. It has the pre-party with Mastercraft, and then it goes through a lot of the different components of what we had.
Well, let's take a look at it. No further delay. Let's just get to the video.